Here today with my BMW M2 CS. With Evan, going to shoot a video, show you guys some of the quirks, not the quirks and features like somebody you know, but some of the things that other reviewers missed on this car. I've owned all the generations of the M2. This one I love the most, actually, and I've owned it the longest. And I think you're going to find it interesting because these are some of the interesting features of the cars that other people haven't told you about and make it interesting. Not that you're necessarily going to find one because they're limited production and they're all gone, but if you can get your hands on one, they're great cars, and we're about to show you why. Let's go for a drive. All right, welcome everybody. Happy to have you out on a drive with us. I'm here with Evan, and we're going to let you know some of the interesting features of my M2 CS. One of the things you got to say about the car is that it is cool to have something that's exclusive. Obviously, they only made just over 600 of these worldwide, so you have a car that's rare. I was lucky enough to get an allocation, and you know, the car is super fun, and it is a huge improvement. I mean, it's been supposedly the end of the line of this generation, so they put everything they could into it. I did some comparisons basically of the differences between what this car would be in the M2 competition, and there are just a ton of additional things they really put into this car that make it special. But this car, they put everything on it. They put all the carbon parts on the car. It's absolutely amazing. The hood, RFP carbon, rear splitter, the rear diffuser. They put the deeper dish front splitter, which is of course this really risky part that you hope you never hit a curb with, but absolutely really cool. Now we come into the local bike run called Gimbals. I do the rest of the time. Should be interesting on video. Hopefully we don't hit anybody coming through. And inside the car too, carbon everywhere. Carbon door panels and the carbon console, which is really a terrific piece they put in the car. People will complain it doesn't have the armrest, but the carbon console is an absolute terrific addition. One of the biggest changes they did as a like in this car, and I think which makes the biggest difference, is the electronic adjustable suspension. Making the original cars, they decided that, well, it's going to add too much weight, so we don't want to have the adjustable suspension, but adding the adjustable suspension makes the biggest difference. The prior gens were really pretty harsh rides, to be honest, and this made a huge difference in the drivability of the car. And I think one of the other big improvements everybody complained about was that they used the cheap Dakota leather in the original M2s. That was the leather from the real A2 series car. Now they put the better leather from the M3 and M4, and actually put the M4 seats in the car, so you have the relieved back in the seats. So the seats are a lot more comfortable than the prior gen, and the leather is a lot nicer.
And you have the holes, which... And
we have the relieved holes in the back.
Yeah, you have the relieved holes, which in my M3, my daughter loves to kick me from behind, so just a quick tidbit.
Right. And I optioned the carbon ceramic brakes on the car. I think the carbon brakes are a huge addition. I mean, it was $8,000 on top on this car, but anybody that's owned a BMW knows that the brake dust from BMW factory brakes is just horrible. I mean, you literally wash the car, drive it home, and you have brake dust on the wheels. These, I have driven the car for months and not had any dust on the wheels, which is terrific when you have gold rims as well. And I thought with the carbon brakes, the gold calipers, you got to get the gold wheels. And the gold wheels with the blue, I was really on the edge about it, but the thing really pops. It's really nice. It was really good combination. People come up to me and say, yeah, absolutely, you did the best choice for color combo.
Yeah, I love your color combo. And, wow. I like that blue as well.
This car, it pulls.
Yeah,
I got him. I got him.
You got me.
That was an honest reaction.
That really was.
This thing, the power difference, the extra 40, 50 horsepower it has over the other car is huge.
Yeah.
You ask yourself, I don't know, do I really need more power in a car? Do I need it more powerful? Do I need 500, 600, 700 horsepower? I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
It's hard to use it on the road, that's for sure. I've driven a 650 horsepower Callaway Corvette. Anyway, the point is that it's really, unless the car's super dialed in, it's really hard to use that kind of power. This is all you need. Especially when it's this dialed in with the suspension and all the other facets of amazing chassis. Just, good luck getting the full power and the full abilities of the car on the road.
I have to say that BMW still doesn't really have it right. I have it in M dynamic mode, and it doesn't really put the power down. It comes with 265 stock rear tires. It isn't quite effective in putting the car down. The rev match is nice in manual. I had to get a car in manual, but it will still, in second gear, not dropping the clutch, but once you get in the boost, the thing barely hangs on for traction. But it just, the reason why I've kept this car longer than I kept the other M2s I had is just that it's basically all you need, and it's great. It's exclusive. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's really
and the color is
really nice.
The color is unique to this specific CS.
Yep. No, I had to get the launch color. This color actually, I believe, comes as available on one of the X series as well.
Really?
So it's not an exclusive color actually, but. I mean, that was not a clutch drop launch. That was just in first gear, full throttle.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
Definitely impressive. Yep. So Conrad, what I think a lot of people want to know, being that you are such an experienced M2 owner, owning all 3 generations, and of course, just being a big car enthusiast, watching other reviewers. What did the other reviewers miss? I'm sure you have some good things to hit on.
Yeah. One of the funkiest things in this car, in the competition it had it, comfort access. You put your hand on the door and it opens the door. It has a key fob. You start the car, it has a remote start, but it doesn't have comfort access. They decided that, I guess, that weighed too much and that they weren't going to put it in the car. What is interesting, they put the M4 seats in the car, the better leather, the relieved backs, but compared to a competition, it had adjustable lumbar support, power lumbar support, and these seats don't have lumbar support, adjustable lumbar support. So the seats are comfortable, could use a little more lumbar support, but why did they delete it?
I don't.
It's very odd.
It is odd because I don't know how much weight savings that really gives it.
Yeah, exactly.
Conrad, why don't you tell us about the exhaust note? You said that some viewers don't necessarily catch certain details about it.
Yeah, what has been interesting, of course, the original generation M2 had a fantastic exhaust sound, actually. The N motor actually sounded terrific. And the M2 competition, when I got it had a great tune. No crackles and burbles. People thought it was a bit excessive, actually. I think people weren't as attracted to it, maybe. I put a Dyna exhaust on that car, and that made it really aggressive, actually, and deep and aggressive. It was pretty good most of the time. Interestingly, with this tune, the exhaust sounds pretty good, and a lot of people really like it or prefer it, but it is quiet. It is deep, and you'll hear a little bit of a bark.
Yeah, you want to try to open the window for that?
When I get off the throttle, you can almost hear the bark, but I'm sure it really doesn't come across on the video. So, to me, it's really unfortunate that there's really little character to the exhaust in this version, because, I mean, you get all the extra horsepower, but you lose the sound. Now, definitely it has a particulate filter in the European cars, but I'm sure the US car doesn't have that, so I'm sure that's really not the reason. Well, you see some of the little oddities. The next generation of Apple CarPlay in this car split the screen, so you don't take advantage of the full screen. I don't think anybody ever put that in the reviews, so that's oddity, and apparently is a program feature, so there's no way that's ever going to get corrected. The carbon console is really nice. The carbon console, the original center console, of course, had a USB port for your phone, so you can put your cable, your phone, you put it inside. Well, now they just left the USB port sitting on the outside of the carbon console because, of course, there's no... So another thing that people have really complained about a lot, actually, is the steering wheel. Now, the steering wheel is actually great that they put a factory Alcantara wheel in the car. And I have to say, besides the carbon fiber they put in the car, Alcantara everywhere too, which I love Alcantara. It's great. But everybody from Chris Harris to everybody else complains that the wheel is too fat. Now, I have a factory wheel from the other car, and I'm interested to measure it at some point, but I really don't think it is that much fatter than the other wheels. But it is a big source of complaint from everybody that the wheel is too fat.
So you were showing me the carbon fiber roof, and you were showing me how it's not perfect.
Exactly. I think that's been a big topic. And you have an M3. M3, the layup is the finer weave. It looks perfectly uniform. In this car, they didn't do the same kind of carbon fiber. The weave is wider, and all the cars don't have a perfect layup. The carbon layup isn't clean. And indeed, my car, the layup isn't clean either. It's pretty good, but does have at least one spot that has a slight flaw. And I actually know of one person on the board that has actually gone back to BMW to have their roof replaced. Or have the car replaced, saying that I don't like it enough that I want another car or I want another roof. So, I mean, if...
That's a tough call. I mean, I can't...
That would be a tough call. I'd never want to have a roof torn off and replaced.
Yeah, exactly.
No way.
Yeah, they might be waterproof for a couple years, and then something comes tripping in. Who knows?
Right.
Yeah.
Now, I'd have to say that this car is a little bit better than the original generation car. And I've also done all of it. I did the manual, the original, the DCT, and the competition, and now I went back to the manual. I have to say the manual is better than the original one. The clutch is a little heavier, which is better.
Yeah.
The shift to action is also a little better.
It's not as rubbery?
Not as rubbery, but it still has that. It's just impossible to make a clean first to second shift. And I'm sure you've noticed I'm not that smooth. That you can't make a smooth shift. People write about this, people that obviously are not that experienced with manuals. I've driven manuals for a long time, let's just say.
Which says a lot.
It is super hard to shift cleanly from first to second, and it's this...
It's maybe the synchros?
No, it's the rev overhang from the motor, the electronically controlled rev delay. Okay. And either that or it's what they call this clutch delay valve. So as soon as you the rev match does work pretty well unless you're super quick, and then it misses too. But as you shift the car up,
yeah, I see that.
the rev revs just hang, and then you get into the gear, it drops them down. I have to say, when they fully optioned this interior, they did a great job. I mean, I love the CS Alcantara dash, the carbon fiber, but then why did they stop short when they sell a carbon insert for the steering wheel and they left it out? They put a terrific carbon center console, yet they left the plastic insert on the steering wheel. So, of course, I had to get it.
Yeah,
I have the carbon,
and it matches everything really
the
well.
carbon M insert in the car, and the steel M pedals. They didn't put those on either. I've added those. That was an interesting thing to add.
What is that pinpoint feeling for you that says this is why I went from the competition to the CS?
I think really for me it was not so much. I bought this car sight unseen, basically. Yeah, like everybody else that got one. You had to get on the list, you were on the list, you ordered it, and then you had it. So you were just hoping it came out all right. I think the reason, interestingly, you looking at your series of why would you buy this car, it's like, for me, why have I held on to the car? Yeah. I mean, I've turned over a lot of cars in a year, and this car I've actually had longer. Haven't driven it quite as much, but why have I kept it? Because it's exclusive, it's fun, it is at a let's say a manageable price point, and it just it's got like so much power. It just pulls and pulls. I don't know what's going on here.
We got a dust seam.
Driving through a smoke screen.
Yeah, you gotta buy some.
Yeah, it just pulls and pulls.
If someone's watching this and they're seriously thinking about paying, the premiums out there, because there's probably not many. This is a very exclusive car.
Right.
How would you close? Like, you have 30 seconds to tell them. What would you say to them closing off the video, closing off your experiences with cars? What would you want to tell them?
Yeah, I think it's a great car to look for. Whether or not it's worth paying the premium is for anybody to decide, but at this point, the waning of the internal combustion engine, you have to pick make your selection.
Yeah, I agree.
Decide how you want to go, whether you want that big V8, whether you want what you want that's not going to be electric. I mean, this is a good option, and it's, like everybody says, I would look for the manual car. If you can drive the manual, of course fewer people can, but I would look for the manual just because it's that old school fun you want to have. So, but yeah, I highly recommend it, and really, if you're a mod type that likes to add things to the car, it's fully kitted out already. So there's nothing to do. Just
drive it.
Buy it, drive it, and enjoy it.
Yeah.
So that's what I would have to say. But yeah, it's been a pleasure shooting the video with you, and I hope it's been informative for the viewers. And yeah, look forward to doing another one sometime.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Please like and subscribe, of course.
I like when other people ask for my channel.
Absolutely.
Anyway, thank you guys, and we hope to catch you in the next one. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.